So whenever I have a dream from the Lord, it tends to be very unusual and out of this world, if I can describe it. Like, there will be your visions and events that just defy the typical principles of this world, the physical limitations of this world, and the things that can happen in there that are just beyond my imagination. But sometimes these dreams I can recognize that they are from God, and and of course everything that God speaks to us is in the confine is within the confines of His word, and is subjected to the authority of His word. But how do we reconcile the both? Like the weirdness and the craziness of these dreams that I receive, and the scriptural authority and the limitation of His word. So here's the question that is in play. And oftentimes when we interpret a message from God, be it a word, event that happened in your life, a dream, we tend to do it in the confines of our own limitations. And what are these limitations? I think we are under the bondage of a few things. One of which is time. We have a limited time span on this earth, and with the whatever 30 years that you've lived, or it could be 17 years or 21 years that you've lived so far, that's all that you have been exposed to in your life. You're also limited to the bondage of your physical location, your physical environment. Like, for instance, I've been a Christian for 6 years now, and it's all been always out of this one church, which is City Harvest, and I've been only exposed, majority of my time as a Christian has been exposed in such an environment and in such a structure or a way of running service, or way of running worship, way of running prayer and devotion and all of that. So our minds are limited by our perceptions shaped by these limitations: time, physical environment, the culture that we are part of. And oftentimes when we look at these dreams, we'll be so intrigued to discover how unlimited, how unrestrained God is in the way that He works these things. Like when we talk about goodness, the way that a human interprets goodness is as far as he can know from his sight and his mind. When you see goodness in your life, when you see people doing good in your life, when you see people doing good to one another through your eyes, and in your mind, the way that you process the things that you see, and that is our limitation in terms of how we see characteristic like goodness. But when it comes to the goodness of the Lord, it is much more expansive, and it's so much greater than the goodness that we have ever seen in this lifetime, and that we could have ever known up to now, and even in the time to come. So just some thoughts to wrestle with, and that God, even though He works all things under the authority of His scriptures, but He is not under the bondage of the cultural environment that we are in, neither is He under the bondage of the time that we are subjected to. So those are some of my thoughts about prophetic messages and dreams, dream interpretation, interpreting the words of God. Hope you like that, and good night. See you.